Hello, everybody. I'm really excited to be here with you today. I'm going to be sharing my screen. I've got some information I want to share with everybody today, and hopefully it'll be something that you can all enjoy. I'm trying to get the sound to share on this. Not sure if I can get it to work. Sorry, guys, it's just taking me a minute. I wanted to be able to share my sound. I have a couple of little videos. Is there a way I can do that? I'm clicking share sound on my PowerPoint. Let me try something different. Well, if we can't hear the video, it's all good. Yes, I wanted to be able to share my sound when I get to a certain, let's stop sharing for a second. Sorry, technical difficulties with me. Yeah, I wanted to be able to share my PowerPoint and a sound because I have a couple of videos in there. Thanks for being patient, everybody. Well, I'm just going to get started. Even if we can't hear the sound or share that part, we'll just keep going forward. All right, I am going to share my PowerPoint. Let's see. If I can get this screen to move out of my way. All right. So I am talking today about emotional intelligence. It's cultivating emotional intelligence. And the reason that I chose to talk about cultivating is I kind of want to think of it as a garden, right? None of us are born with emotional intelligence. It's just not something that happens. We're born with all these emotions and we don't know how to regulate them and what to do with them. So I think of it as a garden. As we go along, we are planting those seeds, we're growing, we're learning, and we're pulling out weeds. So it's something that we can learn and grow along the way our whole lives. So emotional intelligence, I get asked this question, what is it, right? Well, what it really is being able to recognize emotions that we're having and recognize emotions that other people are having and having that empathy, being able to relate to others and communicate with others and have those healthy relationships. Because without emotional intelligence, we're going to find that a lot of things in our lives are harder. And we'll talk a little bit about that as we move along. Okay, let's see if I can want to see if I can share this. Let's see if I can share the sound now. Hold on one second. It's a really cute little video I wanted to share. So let's see if I can share it with the sound. Let's see. Don't know if it'll let me share that way. I'm just going to forget that video. Could I just start playing the video? I probably could. Let's see. I'm going to try to share that again. Sorry, guys, it's not sharing it. I gotta love technology sometimes. I'm used to sharing a certain way with Zoom, but it's not working the way I want. So I'm just going to get back into my PowerPoint. And I'm going to skip it. So basically, the video that I had for you guys was really awesome. It just talks about the different, ways that we have emotional intelligence. Talks about in every situation that you have, how emotional intelligence works, what it does. It just is a really cute video. We'll see if we can get it sent to you guys in chat after this. All right. But it basically talks about the attributes of emotional intelligence, which are self-management. So that's being able to have your own control of your emotions and what you do with those emotions. And then self-awareness, do I have emotional self-awareness? Am I able to be self-confident? Can I share how I'm feeling? And then social awareness, that's actually being able to recognize social cues in others and their feelings and empathizing with them. And then having relationship management. So we can't really have relationships with people if we don't develop like this way to like interact with people and deal with conflict and, just being able to have really, really good communication. So you're going to hear me talk a lot about communication with this. Okay, so why is emotional intelligence important? Well, just think about it. If I didn't have emotional intelligence, let's just say I act like a toddler all the time. I throw fits, I'm angry, I'm grumpy, I just want my juice box and my nap. I'm not sharing how I feel other than just acting out everything I feel, right? So emotional intelligence is being able to like really recognize and understand how you're feeling and being able to act, not react. Okay, so it affects our performance at work or school, our physical and our mental health, because if we're always just angry or always anxious, always frustrated, it really does take a toll on our physical and mental health. And then, in the way that we deal with people and our relationships and our social intelligence, if we can't, pick up on other people's social cues and we don't listen and we're not able to communicate, we're not going to have that emotional intelligence. And then it's going to really affect all these different areas of our lives. So let's talk about self-management first. Okay, so self-management is really just taking a good look at yourself. What do I think? How do I feel? How do I act? Do I react? What kind of decisions do I make based on, the way I'm feeling? Am I managing my stress? Am I emotionally present? Right? There's so many things that we can do to manage ourselves. If I am eating cookies and cake all day, I'm going to have sugar crashes like all day long, right? That is not going to help me manage my stress. I might feel emotional. I might cry because I want to have a nap. So self-management has a lot to do with emotional intelligence. So the next part is self-awareness. So self-awareness is more than just recognizing that you have emotions. It's being able to really connect to that. So, if I'm feeling sad, can I recognize that I'm feeling sad? And how am I managing that, right? Am I connecting and accepting of those things? Am I comfortable with the way that I feel? Am I being mindful? And I know that CJ said that I did mindfulness-based stress reduction for my doctoral project, which was so great for me because I am a anxious type person. I stress a lot. So being able to really be mindful and just take a break and just sit and say, how am I feeling in this moment? Becoming aware of who I am and what I want and how I feel. That is a huge part of having and cultivating that emotional intelligence. The next part is social awareness. So let's say you walk into a cafeteria and you see your friend sitting over in a corner and their heads down and they're really they don't look very happy, right? So socially aware, I can recognize how they're feeling. Oh, they don't look like they're very happy today. Okay. So I'm going to go over there. I'm going to pay attention to how they're feeling and I'm going to focus on how they're feeling. So just being socially aware of the people that are around you is part of cultivating that emotional intelligence. Relationship management. So relationship management has a lot to do with how you relate to everybody every day. So we need to have communication skills, social and emotional skills. We have to develop empathy and conflict resolution, and we have to learn to be assertive. I'm going to talk a little bit more about some of those things as we go along, but it's really important for us to really be able to understand how important relationship management is, because we use that every day in our interactions with others. So what we're going to do now is we're going to build an emotional intelligence toolkit. So this is kind of a little fun thing I put together with lots of things that we can do to develop our emotional intelligence. I like this picture because it reminds me of how I feel some days. All right, step one for your toolkit is stress relief. I cannot emphasize how important this is, because if you let all this stress build up and you don't manage it, it's going to come out in ways that are unhealthy. Okay, so what you can do is you can talk to someone. The first thing I want to do when I'm upset or I'm feeling stressed out is talk to my spouse, talk to my mom, talk to my bestie. Those kinds of things make me feel better. Exercise. Not everybody likes to exercise, but just going for a little walk can count as exercise. Another thing I like to do when I want to exercise, but I don't want to exercise, is I put on some of my favorite music and I dance around. Nobody wants to see that, but it really makes me feel better. I put yoga on here because I love yoga. Before I ever tried yoga, I was just like, ooh, that looks boring. It's just a bunch of stretching. And then when I actually tried yoga, oh my gosh, I felt more connected to myself and my thoughts and my body than I ever had before. It was great. Meditation. So a lot of people think meditation is just, laying there and trying to think of something or not think of anything at all. But meditation can be so many different things. It can actually be going for a walk. It can be sitting outside with your coffee and watching the birds. So there's so many different things that we can do as a meditation. We're actually going to practice one here in just a few minutes together, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Luckily, nobody can see anybody else, so you can all practice it. You can close your eyes, you can not close your eyes, you can just do it. There was a quick stress relief video that I was going to play for you guys, but since I'm not able to make the sound work the way I want, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about it. And you guys can also find this video too. It's on YouTube. It's called Reduce Stress in 3 Minutes. She basically just gives you guys things that you can do to reduce stress in 3 minutes. Some of them are breathing exercises. One of my favorite breathing exercises is breathing in for 4, holding it for 2, and then breathing out for 4. And just doing that for just like 1 minute actually reduces your stress. So that's one of the things that she shares. A couple of the other ones are just like chair exercises. And I did that before in one of my other talks that I did here. I did like some chair yoga, and that was actually kind of fun too. But I'll see if I can send that video out too. So the other step 2 for our emotional intelligence toolkit is developmental awareness. Okay, so developing emotional awareness means we are able to understand our feelings and emotions. So if you're not aware of how you're feeling, you won't know how it affects your thoughts and behaviors. Okay, so say I woke up this morning and I woke up late and I was going to be late for work and I'm feeling angry and I'm driving down the road and somebody cuts me off. Okay, I get to choose at that moment how my emotion is affecting my thoughts and my behavior. So one of the most really interesting things is I'm going to share a little story about what happened to me last week. So I went out to my daughter's and I was babysitting my 2-year-old granddaughter. And we were having fun playing, and I needed to go home after her mom got back. And I told her I'm going to go. And she just suddenly burst out. She yelled, because she didn't want me to leave. And her mom is amazing. She says, I'm recognizing that you feel upset. Do you want to talk about it? And she said, I'm sad. And she said, are you sad because Grammy is leaving? And she said, yeah. And she said, well, do you want to dance it out? Do you want to yell into a pillow? And she said, yell. And so my daughter held up this pillow and she went, ah, she yelled into the pillow. And then she stopped and she looked at me and she started to laugh. And then my daughter turned on music and we had a little dance it out party. And I told her, I love you and I'm going to be back to visit you soon and you can come visit me too. Okay. So we choose how what we do with our emotions, right? Because they really do affect our thoughts and our behavior. So I wanted to use that example because I feel like, I appreciate how much my daughter is allowing my granddaughter to feel her emotions and giving her proper ways to express that, because it really does. It affects the way she thinks and the way she behaves. So part of developing emotional awareness too is understanding emotion needs and concerns of others. So recognizing when somebody else has a need or emotions, and then we develop and maintain good relationships, right? We do that when we can recognize how someone's feeling and we can talk with them. And they feel like they can talk with us because we're a safe person. All right, now we're going to do our guided meditation. And since I can't see any of you and you probably can't see each other, I want you guys to really participate in this, okay? So this exercise, it invites you to become aware of your emotions. It's a chance to get to know your emotions. So it's called emotional awareness meditation. So I want you guys to get comfortable. If you're sitting, laying down, whatever it is that you're doing, I want you to allow your spine to be straight and long. Let your shoulders drop. So let go of that tension that you're feeling in your shoulders after a long day. So I want you to close your eyes if that's what you're comfortable with, or just gaze down in front of you with a soft focus. So as you're sitting here, notice where your body is making contact. Notice where your feet are touching the floor. Feel the back on the ground or on the chair. Okay, I want you to notice your breath. For the next 5 or so breaths, I want you to follow each inhale and exhale, feeling or imagining the breath flowing into and out of the body. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to guide you through one of those breaths I was telling you about, okay? So breathe in, 2, 3, 4, and hold it. 1, 2, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to stop talking and I want you guys to take a couple of minutes to do this kind of breathing, maybe just 1 minute. Just follow your breathing in and out of your body. Okay. I want you to shift your awareness from your breath to your body. We're going to do a body scan slowly from head to toe. And I want you to observe any feelings or emotions that are present. So let's start with our head. Moving down into our neck and our shoulders and our arms And our hands and our fingers move into your back. And now your chest. Now feel your stomach. Feel your buttocks and your legs and your knees. And now all the way down into your feet and your toes. I want you to observe any feelings or emotions you might have felt in your body. Some of you might have felt numerous emotions or feelings. So I want you to think about one specific emotion or feeling to focus on. It can be anything. Notice where in your body that this emotion is located. What part of your body is holding this feeling? How big or small is this feeling? Where are its edges? Are these edges sharp or soft? Does the feeling have a color? And if so, does the color change or remain the same? Is this feeling heavy or light? Is it moving or still? Is it feeling hard or soft? Is it rough or smooth? If I could touch this feeling with my hand, what would the texture be like? Now, if you were to give a name to this feeling or emotion, what would it be? Can you identify it? Can you give it a label? If a name doesn't come for this feeling, that's okay. Be kind to yourself and continue to observe the feeling in your body with curiosity and without judgment until the nature of this feeling or emotion becomes clear in you. I want you to continue to get to know this emotion for another minute. And then when you feel that you understand and you have located this emotion or feeling, you can open your eyes and bring your attention back to the room that you're in. So I'm going to give you one more minute to connect with this feeling or emotion in your body. Okay. I hope you all enjoyed that emotional awareness meditation. It's something that it's a really good one to do first thing in the morning or in the evening when you're just trying to wind down. It's basically you just start off with your breathing, okay? Relax your body, and then just do a body scan to try and find the emotions in your body, okay? So step 3 for our toolbox is regulating your emotions. So now that you've identified your emotions, let's regulate it. So the first step is to recognize you're feeling a certain way. So before I started this talk today, I had like this feeling of like a knot in my stomach, okay? And I labeled that emotion as I'm a little anxious, okay? And then I reframed my thought. So, oh my gosh, this is going to be scary, to, you know what? This is fun. I like doing this kind of thing. And then I engaged in a mood booster, and that's something I did earlier today. I actually went to an early breakfast with my bestie, and it was great because it helped me to feel more relaxed for today. So step 4, recognize emotions in others. There are several things that we can do to recognize emotions in others. So the first one is listening to what they're saying. Okay, so listening is a skill that we all have difficulty with sometimes, but really listen. Look at their body language, right? Are they crossing their arms? Are they crying? Are they looking away? Are they maintaining eye contact? Ask questions. How are you doing? It looks to me like you feel sad today. Can you tell me more about why you're feeling sad? And then the last one is trusting your gut feeling. That one is so important because somebody might say they're feeling fine, but trust that gut feeling because feelings come with an energy, right? You guys know you can walk into a room and read the energy of a room just by going into it. And then sometimes somebody will walk into the room and you're immediately like, ooh, they're bringing a certain feeling with them, right? So trust your gut feeling. It's so easy for us to dismiss that intuition, but we have intuition for a reason because it helps us in our, emotional regulation with ourselves and with others. So the next thing for our toolbox is empathize with others. So like I was saying before, active listening. So don't be thinking about what you want to say, just listen. Maintain eye contact with them. Offer verbal affirmations like, oh yeah, I understand. Thank you for sharing that. Don't speak over them. So let them share, and you just sit and you pay attention to what they're saying. And when you want to respond, pause and then acknowledge their feelings. Oh, I see. I acknowledge that you're feeling excited about this new adventure you have coming up, but also a little scared. Is that correct? And they'll usually respond, yeah, that's exactly how I feel. And then we can offer support and encouragement. Don't judge. That's on there for a really big reason because a lot of times when we see, when we're listening to other people's situations, we have a tendency to be like, oh, I wouldn't do that, or oh, what are they doing? But that's actually not true empathy. So we don't judge. We just listen, acknowledge them, encourage them, and we can be vulnerable too. We can say, oh my gosh, I had something similar happen to me. And that's how I felt too. So we can be vulnerable with other people. If someone's being vulnerable with us, part of empathy is being able to be vulnerable with them too. Developing communication skills. So communication is a two-way channel, okay? So if we're going to be an engaged listener and we're not talking over somebody and we're paying attention, we can also be clear and concise about what we want to say. So a lot of times it's really important, especially if you have something that you're going to talk something really important. It's really, really important to prepare what you want to say before you get there. So, if you're going to go into a meeting and you have a presentation ready, or even that you have talking points ready, that's totally okay because preparing what we want to say beforehand helps us to communicate with others. Being mindful of nonverbal communication. So if we're talking with somebody and they suddenly look away or start fiddling, it usually just means they've lost our interest. They don't want to talk or they might be upset. Okay. Watching our tone. So making sure we're never talking down to anybody, making sure we're not elevating or talking louder and louder. Those don't help with communication. So we need to always make sure that we're watching the tone that we have when we speak with others. And then this one is my favorite, providing and asking for feedback. This is something that I do all of the time. Anybody who works with me knows I like to ask for feedback because I don't know what I don't know, right? And I think the same with others. I don't ever think of feedback as something negative. I think of feedback as a tool to help me become better and a tool to help you become better. So it's part of actually developing your communication skills. Step 6 is respecting others. So this is a really good one for our toolbox. We may not have the same beliefs and, ideas and things that somebody else does, but we still get to learn to respect others because respect brings trust, right? If I can trust you, even if I don't agree with you, I can trust you. If you're an accountable person, you say what you're going to do and then you follow through with it, or you take accountability when things don't go right. I feel safe with you. I feel safe being around you and having a relationship with you. You're honest. I'm honest. We feel like we can have that two-way communication. I'm not worried that you're going to be dishonest in any way. We support each other. So even if I don't, understand the way that you feel, I can still support you. Cooperation. So let's work together. So this is especially a good one when you have to do a group project, right? You may not all have the same ideas, but you get to learn to work together because that's part of cultivating your emotional intelligence. This one is actually one of my favorites. So becoming assertive. This one is a really hard one for so many of us. I grew up very, very passive. I just let people decide things, and I was really agreeable because I was taught I had to be nice all the time. So we've got passive, we have passive aggressive, and then we have aggressive. And those three ways do not help with emotional intelligence. But becoming assertive is a really important part of emotional intelligence. Okay, so if I'm assertive, I can express my feelings, my beliefs, my thoughts. I feel like I can just be me, right? I don't have to be me that is what other people expect of me. I just get to be me. I don't have to wear my armor. I feel good about what I'm doing and who I am and my own beliefs, even if they're different from yours. I'm able to set boundaries. Boundaries are so important, you guys. It's huge. I did not learn to set boundaries until I was in my 40s. I hate to admit that, but it's a really hard one. Boundaries just means that I love you enough to have a boundary that protects me. So I'm loving me and you at the same time. I love that. So boundaries really, really help. Recognizing you're in charge of your behavior. Nobody else is in charge of the way I behave. So if I'm feeling frustrated, I'm feeling angry, and I choose to behave a certain way, that was my choice. Nobody ever can make me behave in a certain way. I always choose the way I behave. Okay. Self-respect and self-confidence. So I feel good enough about myself that I can respect me, I can respect you, and I'm confident enough to say, this is how I feel. And then acknowledging rights and feelings of others. So, what you believe and what you feel and what you think are just as important as what I feel, think, and believe, even if we don't share the same feelings, beliefs, and thoughts. So that is a really huge part of becoming assertive. All right, so this one, I want you guys to, if you don't have a piece of paper, you can hold up a finger, but I want you to keep track. So I am going to read these questions and I want you to keep track of how many times you answer yes. Okay? First one, I am comfortable meeting new people in social situations. I am able to say no without feeling guilty or anxious. I can express strong feelings such as anger, frustration, or disappointment. I can easily request help and information from others. I feel capable of learning new things and performing new tasks. I am able to acknowledge and take responsibility for my own mistakes. I can discuss my beliefs without judging those who don't agree with me. I am able to express my honest opinion to others even if they don't agree. I tell others when their behavior is not acceptable to me. I can speak confidently in small group situations. I believe my needs are as important as those of others and should be considered. I can assert my beliefs even when the majority disagrees with me. I can express anger or disappointment without blaming others. I am comfortable delegating tasks to others. I value my own experience and wisdom. So now I want you to tally up how many times did you answer yes? Okay, if you answered yes more than 10 times, you are consistently assertive and probably have handled most situations well. If it's less than 10, learning assertive behavior techniques would boost your score. So I want you guys to just think about all of the things that you didn't answer yes to. Maybe write it down and then ask yourself why, right? And then kind of just look into yourself, look into your own feelings and thoughts about that statement that wasn't true for you. All right, so now we're going to compare emotional intelligence. So there's high emotional intelligence and low emotional intelligence. So high means I accept myself and others. I've learned how to communicate assertively and I display empathy. If I have low emotional intelligence, I don't accept myself or others. I probably have low self-esteem. I might communicate passively, passive aggressively, or aggressively. And I probably lack empathy. Okay, so we're going to go through these high emotional intelligence or low emotional intelligence questions. So here's the situation. A person's trying to explain something to a coworker. The coworker is having difficulty following the explanation because the person is veering off subject. So the person realizes they can sometimes get sidetracked. So they apologize and start again. Oh, I'm so sorry. I get squirrely sometimes. Let me get back to the actual subject that we needed to talk about. I'm so sorry. And then they start again. Do you guys think it's high or low? It's high, right? Because we recognize something in ourselves and then we're like, oops, I've recognized that I get squirrely sometimes, so I'll start over. So the next one, a person orders food at a restaurant. The food takes a long time to arrive. I'm sure you can all relate. And when it does arrive, it's the wrong dish. The individual becomes angry with their server. So they blame the server for the issue with their food and storm out of the restaurant. So that's definitely low, right? What can we do differently in this situation? Okay, I actually had something similar happen to me recently. So we went to a restaurant for Mother's Day. My son took us to a restaurant and it was taking a long time. They were short-staffed. We got an iced tea that was supposed to be an iced tea with lemonade. And, I said, hey, when you get a chance, can you change this drink? It's just only iced tea and it's supposed to be the iced tea with lemonade. And the server was like, I'm so sorry. And she went and got another one. And guess what? It was just iced tea. And we were like, same thing happened again. I wonder if she's just really busy. And then she came back like 5 minutes later and she's like, you know what? I think the lemonade is out. We just replaced it. And she brought a whole other glass. So, she probably would have had a really hard time if we had been angry at her. My son was like, I just wouldn't say anything at all. And I'm like, ooh, no. You have to say something, but you can say it in a nice way. So, it's something that we all have to learn. All right, the next situation. So we have a person's friend is stressed about an upcoming test. The person does not understand why their friend is so worried about a test, and they're upset that their friend will not come to a party with them instead of studying. This one's easy, right? Low emotional intelligence. So, a better thing to do in this situation would be, I understand. Do you want me to come study with you? Or even just say, hey, I'll miss you. I hope you do well on your test. So yeah, these situations can be, handled in so many different ways. Here's the next one. So a friend introduces a person to their new partner. The person notices the partner seems a little quiet and shy. The person makes their friend's partner feel welcome and includes them in their conversations. So high or low? Definitely high, right? Just being aware that there's a new person here and they might be a little uncomfortable because they don't know you. So make them feel welcome. Don't just talk to your friend. So this last part here is, these are things that you would hear if you were an emotionally intelligent person. These are things that you would say. So all of these statements right here that I have show that you are cultivating your emotional intelligence. So you're going to hear, can you tell me more about that? I hear you. I understand you, but I see things differently. How do you feel about that? I'm not sure what's wrong. Can you please explain? Oh, what do you mean? You've done a great job. You both have good points. Let's see how we can work together. I would love your input on this. This situation makes me feel worried. I feel this way about, I'm sorry, and thank you. So these are the references for my cultivating emotional intelligence. And I really hope that you all will be able to take some of those tools that I put in our emotional intelligence toolkit and use them to help yourself to cultivate. Like I said, emotional intelligence is something that we cultivate and we learn and we grow it throughout our whole lives because we're not born with it, but it is essential to our health and to our relationships. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much for the talk, Carrie. It's much appreciated. We'll now open the floor for any questions that anybody might have or any additional comments. Feel free to put that in the Q&A section and we'll be moderating from there. In the meantime, Carrie, do you want to talk a little bit more about your background with the doctoral project that you did?
Yeah, it was actually done with nurses. Nursing is a very high stress field, and a lot of nurses get burned out really easily. So John Kabat-Zinn, it's been about 30 something years, he developed mindfulness-based stress reduction, which was basically a tool that uses things like exercise and meditation and, really just taking care of yourself. It's actually part of cultivating emotional intelligence. And basically using those tools to reduce your stress and anxiety and really just become aware of, how you feel and what you can do differently. So it's something that I really felt was useful for me. And it was definitely a useful tool for the nurses that we used it on.
Excellent, that's awesome. Looks like Robin had a question. How do you think we can apply this when working with our stressed out students?
Oh, that's a good one. So I've seen a lot of emails come through from students sometimes, and they're stressed out. It's obvious that they're stressed out, right? But I've even had emails or calls from stressed out students. They really just want to be heard. They want to be acknowledged. So basically, acknowledging their feelings, letting them know I hear you and I understand what you're going through, and what can I do to assist you and support you on your journey. So it really is just, using those tools that I had in our little toolkit to apply them to any situation. You can help the students by, acknowledging them, taking some extra time for them. Say, hey, do you want to have a study session with me? So there's so many things that we can do.
Yeah, definitely want to make sure we're utilizing our toolkit that you helped walk us through and all the aspects of it. Any other questions from anyone in the audience? We'll give it just a minute, and then if not, then we can have things close out.
Thank you. I appreciate you all.
Yes, it looks like we're getting a lot of claps in the chat. Okay, perfect. I think that's a great note to leave us off on. Thank you again, Carrie, for being able to participate in the lecture series. Always great to have you.
Thank you. I apologize for the technical issues, but I really enjoyed being able to do this.
Much appreciated. Yeah, if you have that link on you, we can always have it sent out to the people who are participating.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for being able to attend today. I hope you have a great rest of your day.